Hey, today we're going to talk about some very, very old but great toys. And you've clicked on this video so you know it's about the Tomy Sports Set. Now what is that? That's something that existed in the very early 1980s. They were these 6 sets that they made, all based around sports. The wonderful thing about these sets is that they didn't take batteries. And if you know anything about the early 80s, you either had something that was pretty inanimate or you had something that took really big, expensive batteries. And what Tomy did in the 1980s is took those little wind-up clattering toys and they put them in sports situations. And they made 6 of them for the US market, plus 1 extra one. And I got my hands on all 7, the original 6 US ones and the 7th mystery one, which was apparently only for the Japanese audience. And it's right here. If you want to check these out in a little more detail, see some of the pictures, some of the artwork, some of the instruction manuals, check out my website down below. There's a link. And I've put together a dedicated page just for these games. We'll start with the earlier ones, and then I'll get to the bigger ones, and then I'll tell you which ones I think are the best, and then I'll show you the mystery Japanese one. Does that sound like a good plan? Well, it's the only plan I'm offering, so let's go. This is a clamshell that you open up. As we open it up, we see there are 2 football players, the yellow-red team and the blue and silver team. And then we have this little football. You take the clamshell, you flip it over, and look, there's your gridiron right there. Just match up the colors, blue on blue, yellow-red on yellow-red, and then you put the football in the middle. It's more soccer than football, really, because they are kicking the ball, which is really what football is, right? Which seems to say to me that this was definitely made for the US market and not a European market. When I got this, we didn't have the rules. We just figured we'd make them up as we went along. The way we would play is the first time you go out, it's whoever kicks the ball into the end zone that wins. But it's basically just a grudge match to kick the football. On further turns, you would turn over the ball to the other team and they'd start on their 20 and they'd have an advantage to kick the ball. They'd get 4 downs. All right, so red's got the advantage there. Red has possession. What we usually do is put red at the ball, 10 yards away is the opponent, and then we let them go again. All right, touchdown, touchdown red. So now possession goes to blue. We would just count it as 1 point. Blue starts with the ball on their 20, and red has to start from their end zone. So giving blue the advantage and offense here. The most important thing to do is to have rules that you both agree on when you play this, and just let them have at it. We've had this game forever and it just keeps coming back out. And this one is Goof Around Golf, another great alliterative name, and has a very cute little golf ball. I found really clever ways to keep the action alive by giving you different courses. And I was lucky enough to get this one with the instructions. And these original instructions have the rules to it, and they show you these diagrams to do 18 different holes out of just this simple little plastic device. And believe it or not, the different configurations have different pars. These things smell very old. This was made in Taiwan by the Japanese company Tomy, and it was produced in 1980. And we have our little Tomy golf ball. And so they just hook together and you can create different directions. This one can turn this way. You could do another hole this way. There's even a gap there, so your little guy shouldn't be able to go over, and you should insist that you and your opponents go around the long way. Put them like this, and then just place your little flag in. Let's give it a try with this guy. I think his name is Goof. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Oh. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bump here. You have a couple of hazards. You have the water hazard, this little sand trap. So we'll say this will be our 2nd stroke. Let's see if we can get it in 2. Come on. Oh, look at that. Not bad. I think that was birdie.
Birdie!
We did pretty well there. Let's try a harder one. And the great thing about this one is you don't want to overwind it, because if you have your little golf ball fall off, you take a penalty point. So you don't want to do that. You want to give it just like a little setup. Hopefully it stops. So it stops there. Now we're on our 2nd stroke. Let's go, buddy. Okay, well, we're lined up here. Let's see if we can get it. Uh-oh. Oh, penalty.
Chip in.
Hey, golf clap. I really like this one. I didn't know about it until just recently, and I'm really glad we got it. It's very fun. This is Bumbling Boxing. You gotta love the sort of tongue-in-cheekness about this. They know these things aren't perfect. They know they're gonna flop around and fall off a lot, so they really leaned into it. This one still has the price tag on it. Our low price, $4.97, which I think is about $20 US today. I was lucky enough to get the instructions with this. They're very thin. It's just one page, and that's because there's not much to this. Where this game does shine is the design of these little guys. They both have black eyes, and they both look like they're ready to scrap. Without me telling you much, I think you can figure out how this one works. It's just like the football one, but instead of a football, you're trying to knock each other off. What is different is that their arms articulate. They can go up and down a little bit, and so you can decide whether you want a more offensive position or a more defensive position. Let's wind them up. All right, so you put them on their sides, and then you just let them have at it. Make your bet. Who's gonna win this?
Round one.
All right, round one, pretty much a tie. Nobody fell down.
Round two.
Come on. No surprise, reigning world champion, orange gloves. Okay, last but not least of the lunch pail variety, we have Strolling Bowling. This one's pretty great. You unfold the lunch box like a clamshell, and you have these two pieces here. Ours doesn't connect anymore. And then you have this, which are the bowling pins, and they are just little flat pins, as you can see, but they have this little latch here, and so you don't have to pull them up one by one. You can get all 10 pins up at once, which is incredibly convenient. And I think you know what happens here. We take our bowling ball and we let him hop down and hopefully get all the pins down. If you get all the pins down, you get a strike. If you don't get all the pins down, you get a second turn to try to get more pins down, and then the next player goes, just like bowling. Now, our little man Stroller has been with us for many decades now, and he tends to take a very, very sharp left turn now. We tend to just know that he's going to go left, so we aim him far to the right and let him go. Oh, let's go, buddy. You know, it's fine. Go, go, go. Look at that. 9 pins, not bad. Not bad, Stroller. Hey! If he falls off the side, it's a gutter ball. You get 2 turns unless you get a strike. If you want to actually play 10 frames, that's a lot of math. Good luck to you. Maybe there's an app out there that makes it easier. We just like to let him go and see how many strikes we can get. Okay, so those are Gen 1 of the Tomy Sports games, but Tomy didn't stop there. I guess we're successful enough to go back to the drawing board and come up with 2 new designs, and they're pretty bespoke. They're both unique, and they're not repeats in any way of these whatsoever. So let's talk about Along Hoopster first. This is 1981, Tomy. So Hop Along is your man here, or lady. I think you know what's gonna happen here. Hop Along is gonna end up there somehow. But how? How is Hop Along gonna end up there? Let's open it up and find out. I'm incredibly grateful to have one of these. This one is definitely seen some, I don't know, basement filth, but that's totally fine if you are not a collector and just want to play the games, which is what you should be. If it works, it's great, and this does work. So what we have here is a backboard with a scoreboard on it. You may notice that they only give you even numbers, and that's because there's a 2-pointer and a 4-pointer. Yes, a 4-pointer. That does make the math easier, but if you are a true hoops enthusiast, try not to let that bug you too much. And as you can tell, this is not a lunchbox. This is not something you can carry around. This is something that ends up in the box at the end of the day, or it just takes up a lot of space. And here's the hoop. Hoop goes in there. And then we have Hop Along Hoopster. Now, unlike the other ball characters we have here, this one has more than just clackety feet. It has an arm. And you might be wondering why it has an arm, and I'll show you why. The basketball starts here, and you have 2 buttons. You have shoot, which, as you can tell, is going to shoot our character up into the hoop. And we have pass. And what pass does is there's a little bar here. And as our character is careening around it, you can drop that, and it passes it to the 4-point shot here. So let's see it in action. First up, I'll try to show you a 2-pointer. We're just gonna let the ball go. Here we go. First try. And then you'll take your scoreboard and give yourself 2 points. And then play goes to the next player. If I had missed, I would get nothing, and the next player would get their turn. But let's say we want to go for that mythical 4-point shot. Here's how we do it. All right, so as Hop Along is going, we hit the pass button and it drops the pass rod, and it allows Hop Along to go to the next shooting position. It seems like this is incredibly violent for our little basketball. You're slamming him into the sky, and he's just this ancient plastic creature. But this one still seems to work somehow, and it's really fun, to be honest. Last up, we have Homerun Homer. Tomy managed to take one of the most boring sports and make it pretty fun. This one did come with the instructions, and it's good because baseball does have some tedious rules. And although this one isn't in a lunchbox, it is pretty intact right away. The scoreboard folds up. It doesn't slip in like the basketball one. You have a lot of nice details here. Home, visitor. I feel like they really went for it with this playset. It has the most attention to not just details, but the actual gameplay. I think it offers a really fun experience because you can play it concurrently with another player. So you have Homerun Homer here, this cute little guy. They even put a little baseball cap on him. It says H for Homer. And if you're the team that isn't at bat, you are the pitcher. So you wind up the Homer. You put him on the pitcher's mound and you send him toward the plate. If you miss the plates, that's a ball. If he crosses home plate and gets to this little dot here, that's a strike. So how does the player hit it? Well, as you can see, there are bases to be run. So it's not just a hit a home run or not a home run. You can get on first base. If you hit it and he goes over the first base line here, that's a single. You get a player on first base. If you get another single, you add a second player to first and second, and so on. If Homerun Homer goes off this side, that's the 3-base hit. If no one's on base yet, that player would go right to third base. If somebody was on first, for example, and you hit a triple, you would have a player run in from first base, and this player would be on third base. So you would add a point to your score. If Homerun Homer goes all the way back, all the way back here, that is a home run. And if there are other players on base, they score as well. But it's not so easy. If Homerun Homer falls here, here, or here, that's an out. 3 outs, and the next player is up. So you could strike a player out by getting 3 strikes, or they could fall into one of these 4 outs. If instead they fall off before the outs, that's a foul ball. If you know baseball, that's like a strike, but you can't get struck out on it. So you can get up to 2 strikes from fouls. Now, how do you hit the ball? Well, that's what's great about this. Underneath here, you can see there's this little groove and tooth thing here. And what that does is it turns the whole plate toward the outfield. So if you've already figured this out, you understand that this turntable will take the direction of the ball and send it outward. So in action, that looks like this. So I hit the ball by spinning it, and it went toward the home run, but it didn't go.
You're out.
Go, go, go.
It's out of the park.
Home run! I don't know if you can tell, but this is definitely the one that is the most fun to play because you have a lot more control than the other games. It's not just letting the little wacky guy go. There is also the element of luck because like all of the other games, these little wind-ups are totally unpredictable. So those are the 6 American releases, but there was a 7th release in Japan only, as far as I can tell. And it is in Japanese, but this is it. It is Sumo. I bought this one because I wanted the complete collection to show to you. It is very similar to the boxing and the football because Sumo is just yet another grudge match. One interesting thing here is that this came out the same year as the other lunchbox ones in 1980. It says it right here. It has your sumo mat that you put together here. It has really nice illustrations for your audience members. What is different about these characters, though, is that their arms are more articulate than the boxers. They move in and out and up and down. So you can have them really in a low defensive, a high attack the face pose. I had to search pretty far and wide for any documentation and images for the sumo game, which Westerners mistakenly call silly sumo. And I'm happy to report that I found not only some images, but 2 parts of the instructions. If you have the missing inside pages, please share them with me, and I'll include them on the website. What I do have translates like this. In Japanese, it's actually called Party Mate Sumo. So according to the instructions, you hide the position of your sumo wrestler's hands because that will affect the gameplay. And place your sumo wrestlers on the starting line. Then somebody calls Hakioi Nakota, and then let them have at it. If you knock the other wrestler off the mat, you win the round. The score sheet is very ambitious, offering 6 tournaments each with 14 days of matches. Good luck. So that's all 7 of the Tomy Sports figures from the very, very early 1980s. Almost 50 years old now. That's crazy that these things, for the most part, still work. I'm going to tell you which are my favorites. Okay, at number 7, Bumbling Boxing. I do love the boxing game. I think the figures are really cool looking. It's very fun if you want just 2 wind-ups to attack each other, but still not as clever as some of the others. Number 6, just slightly better for me than Bumbling Boxing, is Sumo, and that's because it is the only Japanese one out there. It feels kind of exclusive. Number 5, the first one I was ever exposed to, Funny Football. And I'd say it's a big leap up for Funny Football because you have the ball element of it. The figures are really well made. They have their own helmets, they have stickers, numbers, unique colors, and that brings us to number 4. This one's fairly new to me, but it is so satisfying to get that little golf ball to fall into the hole. If you're really lucky, you can get a hole in one. Just like real golf, you'll find yourself very frustrated when you get into hazards or out of bounds. And that brings us to number 3, Along Hoopster. I think Along Hoopster is great because it has the very, very punchable aspect of launching the ball into the air. It doesn't have the form factor of the lunch boxes, which is unfortunate, and why it's at number 3 instead of number 2 for me. And that brings us to number 2, Strolling Bowling. Even after buying all the other ones, this is still one of my top favorite Tomy games because it is incredibly simple and incredibly satisfying. You could teach it to kids in a second. And number 1 is a new favorite, Homerun Homer. For all of the reasons that I mentioned, it's a 2-player at the same time game, and the batter really has control over where this ball goes to a certain extent. The ball does have a mind of its own. It is incredibly fun. I find it far more enjoyable than watching an actual baseball game. If you had to own just one of these because you wanted the nostalgia, but also wanted the ability to have fun playing it, I would say Homerun Homer is the best out of them. If you want the thrill of these games in a smaller form factor, Strolling Bowling is definitely my recommendation for that. But they're all really great in their own way, even if some of them overlap quite a bit. They're artifacts of the past, and they don't take any batteries. They can just come back to life whenever you take them off the shelf. But if you really want a taste of that 80s nostalgia, try any one of these, and I'm sure you'll be happy. But let me know what you think. Have you played any of these? Do you wish you played? Do you have questions about them other than winding them up and letting them go? Let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to keep that knowledge alive. And also check out the website. I'll put all this information up there, and as I learn more, I'll add more to it. So make sure you like and share and subscribe so I can keep you in the loop. You are great. See you next time on Playing Games.